headlight, new set of headlights for the yellow GT. It's got the LEDs in the front here that, you know, everybody's got to have, that replace the halos that weren't in style like now. You know, these are more the traditional style headlamps, and I've got my LEDs mounted, clocked correctly so that they don't shine into the nethers. Anyways, before you put a set of these headlights on, they're made of solid Chinesium and they tend to leak. So I always put a bead of silicone along the edge here, and I'll show you how that's done. But first I mask off about a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch like you see there. And I do it in two steps. I do the top and then the bottom so that they're sealed completely. Right here I've applied the silicone in a big bead. This is just your 100% silicone you buy for caulking your bathroom, the same stuff. Make sure the surface is clean. The best time to do this is if the headlights are brand spanking new. If they're used, clean them up. Do this. If they're foggy, you have to dry them out. Anyways, here we go. Again, this is just the top half, and I've gone and used a nitrile glove to not get all messy while I smeared this crap all the way along here. Remember, this is not visible on the outside of the car. This will only be visible when you open the hood. Some people care about that, so, you know, they may not do it the same way I do. I don't know. But your main thing is to get between the two layers of plastic and get a good bead of silicone there, okay? And I'm going to peel this tape back before it dries so that it'll end up peeling up the silicone when I'm done. So I'll show you that next. Okay, tape's off. I'm going to leave it exactly like this. It guaranteed it's wedged into the crack between the two pieces of plastic, all right? So don't freak out if you're like, some of it looks a little bit nasty. We don't care. We want it between the two pieces of plastic. I've done that. There's a layer of silicone that's sealing up that crack. And they definitely it's a type of plastic that's malleable. This stuff here, if you wanted to crack these apart and work on the inside of these headlamps, which goes on, some people modify the inside of them. I've done it myself many times. You can peel this silicone back easily, okay? And when you're done, you can put it back. Okay, we're talking a couple bucks worth of silicone caulk, which, you know, big deal. All right, but that's how it's done for the top half. I'll show the video of the bottom half. Here's that other lamp on the top. Got to mention, I let it dry for a few hours before I do the bottom. I like to have everything kind of sealed off on the top. I do it in 2 halves, and it takes a couple hours to dry, 3 hours. Read your directions for the type of caulk you're using. I'm not talking completely. I think curing the thing takes longer, but who cares? You can get it to dry somewhat. It won't like sag on you later, which is important. Okay, and then you do the bottom half. All right, so we're gonna do this one. All right, as you can see, I didn't mask off this side of the seal here. I got a little bit of silicone on the black rubber, which, you know, it'll wipe off if I'm careful. But there's a reason. It's really hard to tape across this line right here. You can see I got some there too, more than one spot. And just wipe it up if that happens. You're like on a knife's edge. So I always tape off the other half, and then just make sure you're getting a bead of silicone down into that crack between the plastics, all right? Because it's made to breathe. I'll point out the breather tube. There's one right there. If you look, this little hickey here is a tube. It's made to have some air come in and out of it because the lamp heats up whenever it warms up, according to, you know, well, the original incandescents. The LEDs, not as much. They're a lot more efficient. I think when I checked with my, I've got a device on my car. I can actually tell how much each circuit is loading. Here's a little spot I would like to be just a little bit better, and look at what it does. It's just, silicone is silicone. I better throw that away. All right. Anyways, point is, you're trying to get silicone between those two pieces of plastic. There is a type of rubber that can be reused. It melts at about 220 degrees Fahrenheit, which is how you separate these if you ever get crazy and decide you want to work inside the lamps. But it also, from my experience, driving rain, any kind of thing that might get some moisture inside these lamps will cross that barrier because they just don't use as much, or because they're just not made as well. So take a moment and do this when you get a set of these lamps. My tape off, and got a little bit of extra on the headlamp. It looks like absolute garbage. I'm just going to wipe it up a little bit. That spot hardly shows. You know, at a car show, somebody might get all upset. Who knows? But I'm cleaning that up. Sorry about the crappy camera work. All right, good enough. Now I'm going to let these dry, like I said, for a few hours. Then I'll flip the headlamps over and I'll do the bottom half of these lamps. And same treatment. Okay, it's a little easier. Not as important. I have to point out, water doesn't tend to flow uphill. They're still just trying to prevent the breathing that they have. Just trying to lessen it to where it's just breathing out of these tubes. There's another tube here. Can you see it? So this is air meant to escape, or condensation mainly. And so we're going to set these aside where somewhere they won't get trafficked and knocked over or anything crazy like that. Let them dry for a few hours. Come back. I'll do the bottom half, and we'll have a complete video. Okay, so bottom half is simpler than the top half. It's just this long stripe here, as you see. I did the same masking tape trick. Still looks like absolute dog excrement. And you just fill in the crack as best you can. Also, this thing came with an extra set of lights, as you can see. That's the LED blinker lights. Those guys, I pumped a little silicone in that hole too. Anything that might leak, these are two halves of a clamshell. You are going to potentially have leakage around the headlights themselves, okay? There's a seal there, and if you get that wrong, you'll know. It'll leak there. And then, of course, your blinker, okay? But other than that, if you're careful and you do this right, it should just seal up pretty good, and you'll just have, like, headlights that don't look like crap and get moisture in them. And, yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.